I expect an issue, and I expect not to be able to debug that issue. No, I forgot the brackets again. I haven't even done anything. Why does it not work? Yeah, look, the drone is just going mental. I haven't done anything to you. We are close to finishing this very addictive coding game. With my trusty drone and all these crops we can grow and harvest, all this beautiful code we get to write and run, and as the drone executes the code, we can dive into a few more puzzles. Even though I've basically completed the game, there are 2 puzzles I've missed, and today I'm gonna tackle one of them. At least I hope to do so. My idea would be to start with the mazes. In this game we actually get to create a hedge maze. That's its own puzzle right there. This hedge maze gets created randomly. Drone, as I have it, is on the bottom left corner, and once the maze is created, the drone does a search in the maze and finds a path leading to the treasure chest. The treasure chest then gets harvested, the maze replanted, and we go again. This is a way to get gold. Now, as always, I have a huge issue actually finding the mazes here in this tree of unlocks. Oh, here they are. Okay, so this is like a tutorial on mazes where it's explained how it all works. Now, I've already got the path finding down, but there's an extra challenge. We can reuse the maze by using fertilizer on the treasure. It has a 10% probability of increasing the treasure by 1 full maze and moving it to a random position. So instead of harvesting and replanting the whole maze and finding the path again, we just fertilize the treasure and get double the or additional full maze, of treasure into the chest. So I suppose it's just to save time and a bit of fertilizer. We can use measure on the chest and it's gonna tell us the position the chest is gonna teleport to. And here's the hard part. Each time the treasure is relocated, a random wall may be removed from the maze. So reused mazes can contain loops. That essentially means my recursive function will no longer work. Loops in the maze make it much more difficult. Reusing mazes doesn't give you more gold than spawning a new maze. It's only worth if the extra information and the shortcuts help you solve the maze faster. The same maze can be solved a maximum of 300 times, so relocate 299 times. Alright, so not technically needed. I'm gonna give it a shot. Bear with me, it might not work. So first off, I'm just quickly gonna explain how this code works, so you know what I'm doing. Here, I'm just calling it the earn gold function and passing a number that is higher than the amount of gold we currently have. That's no longer true, that's fine. Here is the earn gold function. We simply keep making mazes while our goal has not yet been reached. This is a function I wrote. Basically, it just checks the goal is, in this case, 37 grand. Have we reached it or not? So while we haven't reached the goal, we're gonna keep trying to earn some gold. So first off, we make the maze and then we try solving it. Simple as that. How do we make the maze? What we have to do is plant a bush and fertilize it. Once we fertilize a full-grown bush, it has like a 10% chance of spawning this maze. So basically keep fertilizing until you get a maze. Simple as that. Now, this is the hard part. Once the maze is done, we simply call the solve function, pass carrots, which is like a funny joke, I'll explain that in a second, and false. That's this solve function. So the first argument is the direction from which we came to a spot in the maze. So say this spot, we're gonna know whether we came here from this spot right here to the north or this one to the east. And the next argument is treasure found. Have we found this treasure or not? Now this is a standard recursive function. So at the beginning, we have to have a return clause. So if we found the treasure, we're currently above the treasure chest, we harvest it and return true. So we say we have found the treasure chest. If we have not yet found the treasure chest, we do the rest. Now what's that? Let's just check a single if branch right here. So if the direction from is not north, meaning to this spot, we didn't come from the north, but from anywhere else instead, we move north, right? So the point is, if you came from the north, don't try and go back. But this time we haven't come from the north, so we can go there and explore the maze further. Also, only do this if we have not found a treasure yet. So if we have found a treasure, so treasure found is true, we don't execute any of these if statements and simply return. Now, it is possible that move north doesn't work. So say we're here and there's a wall right there. Freaking pig. So we can't move there. That's what we store in this variable, can move. And if we can move, meaning we have moved north successfully, we call the solve function again recursively. So from here, we move to this spot and again call the solve function, which tries to go in every direction. But here we say we came from the south. See, if we move north to this spot, we came from the south. And then, once all of that is done, we have to move back. So here we move north, we try solving, and we move back south. This is done for every of the 4 directions. In other words, if we start here, we try moving in every of the 4 directions. If we can, for each spot we move to, we recursively call this function, and again try spreading the, say, influence, the path in all the directions, except the ones that we've already came from. Also, check for walls and don't hit those. Now the joke at the start, why do I pass entities.carrots? Well, that's because here, direction from, at the very beginning, I want to explore all these branches. So I wanted to pass a direction from that's neither north, south, east, or west. And at the time of writing this code, I actually didn't know how to pass a non-argument. I didn't want to do a null check. I don't think I had to even. And I realized that this silly language just allows me to do this. So I can say solve, and I came to you from the direction of carrots. And the code is gonna work, because carrots is not north, not south, not east, and not west. It freaking works, right? And it's funny as well. Anyway, now the hard part. Once you find a treasure, fertilize it, and then solve the maze again. Find it, fertilize, and so on. So what we're gonna have to do is keep a counter that's gonna tell us how many times we've actually fertilized the treasure chest. 300 times or 299 is the maximum. Now, if you haven't seen the original video where I try and figure this whole thing out, I truly suggest you check it out. There was some really funny stuff going on. I raged so hard. Now what I did is I just copied the whole code from this part. The function is called solve hard and it's a maze solver 2.0. Basically what that means is I can do whatever I want to this code and don't be scared that I'm gonna mess this up. I'm not gonna touch this, it's still gonna work, I can screw with this. So first off, what happens if we find the treasure chest? We don't harvest it, but instead we're gonna fertilize it. 10% probability, so keep fertilizing until the chest moves. So while there is a treasure under us, we fertilize the treasure. That means the chest has now moved to some other spot. Now before that, I suppose we can just say position X, position Y equals measure. So call the measure function and get the new coordinates of the chest. I'm actually just tempted to call this function and try and see whether this works and how the teleportation of the chest actually works. So let's run this code. Yeah, the treasure chest got harvested. What? Okay, this is gonna be a much shorter video than I expected. Oh, you know what? So, at the start here, I correctly call the solve hard function, but here, I recursively still call the normal solve function. So let's try that again. Treasure found, fertilized, and it moved to this position. And now the drone is having some issues. I'm gonna pause it and see, is there a loop here? No, there's not. So why is the drone struggling suddenly? That's honestly pretty strange. I would expect it to go back to its original position. Let's see it again. Yeah, it found the treasure. There it is, fertilized. And what now? It died. Maximum call stack size has been reached. Too many recursive function calls. Obviously, that's to be expected. Is there a loop now, though? Oh, yes, there is. Look, from this spot, I can go this way, like that, around, and get to the same spot I've already been before. So that's a loop, and the drone doesn't really know how to handle that just yet. So what happens whenever we find a chest, the drone then backtracks to its starting position. So basically this solve hard function finishes. We see it's still not done, so we make another maze. However, since there still is a hedge there, this function basically gets skipped. So we again try solving the maze. So I suppose this is gonna be easier than expected, because here I'm just gonna have a counter of how many times I've actually found the treasure chest. So I'm gonna call it treasure version equals 1, and every time we solve the maze, I say treasure version and increment it. I hope this works. Oh shit, is it gonna work? Oh no, it's not. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna write it the stupid way. I don't care. Treasure version equals treasure version plus 1. Now what I'm also gonna do is pass the treasure version to the solve hard function and reset the version once it reaches 300. I also need to propagate this number into every recursive call, so it's gonna be a new parameter, and if treasure version is 300, we actually don't want to do this, but harvest instead, otherwise fertilize. So this should already partially work. I'm just gonna artificially lower that 300 to say 3. Both times, hoping there won't be any loops before that. So let me run the code, and it ended somewhere already. Oh, what? So lucky! The drone is already above the treasure. And why are we not fertilizing it? Let's try again. So the treasure got found, fertilized, now it's there, found, fertilized, and it's there, and it got harvested after 3 times of fertilizing it. Great. And again. Okay, that works. So let me put that 300 back in. And what we need to do now is tackle the loops. So my thought is to keep track of every spot we have visited and say this would be a loop like this, okay? I start going around the loop like that, marking every spot I've been through, and once I reach the start again and see that I've already been there, I don't propagate further, but backtrack instead. Now the real issue here is actually surprisingly that I don't know anything about the language, and I don't know what the best way of storing 2 coordinates is and realizing whether I've already been to a spot or not. So I could either have a map of x coordinates mapped to y coordinates, or I can trust that a tuple, it's called, basically like a pair, is gonna realize that it's the same as another pair. So here I see that tuples can be used as keys in dictionaries, like that. So I suppose that a tuple is really smart, and it can be compared to another tuple of the same value. Right. So I create it like that, and I'm gonna need a set of spots I've already been to. So I create an empty set. Okay, let's just try it. So visited equals empty set. I pass it as another argument to the function, copy that everywhere, and whenever I go somewhere, I first check, have I already been here? So if visited dot, I can't say contains? Oh shit. Oh, if element in set. That's it. That's what I wanted. So if element is in set, in other words, if a tuple of get position x and get position y is in visited, so I've already been there, I just return whatever the treasure found bit was. And it's gonna be false, but whatever. So that's it. Have you been here already? Don't do anything. Why is it not a valid expression? Is it due to this? What if I put brackets around that? Is it a tuple now? Okay, I guess. Now I need to add elements to this set. So basically, whenever I move somewhere successfully, so can move is true. Before calling the recursive function, I just need to add this element to the visited set. So that would be visited.append or add. What's the difference? Append adds on the end and add also what? Add a new element? That's weird. So what does append do? Never mind, just add, and I'm gonna add this tuple. So visited.add the position I'm currently in. Obviously do it everywhere for every branch of this thingy. And does it mean it works now? If so, surprisingly simple. I expect an issue and I expect not to be able to debug that issue. But anyway, let's run the code and see. Oh, stuck already. Add can only be used on sets, can't be used on whatever this thing is. Right, so sorry about that, but how the hell do I create an empty set? Initialized as such. You know what? I actually don't know how to do that, but actually I'm starting on the position 0, 0. So I'm gonna say visited is initialized like that. So the 0, 0 position is already there. Let's try again. No, still, what? You are not moving, you nugget. Oh, right, because the starting position is there. Oh, this is silly. I can just add it right here. So before we even move, I add the current position. This is fine, and now I really need that empty set. So I had to Google it, and it seems I should write set in brackets. Yes, creates a new set. So that's ridiculous, okay, first of all. Second of all, it's not mentioned anywhere in this thingy. So yeah, nice try, but you didn't tell me how to do that. Anyway, I have an empty set, pass it along, check for the positions, add the current positions, and move. So let's see whether this works. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. Why not? It seems that this is always evaluated as true. Why? Oh no! No, I forgot the brackets again. Shh. This is like a running joke already. I always forgot the freaking brackets. Always. Have I called another function where I might have forgotten that? I hope not. I don't think so. Okay, let's try again. This time actually calling these two functions instead of adding their reference to this set. This would have never happened could I have said that the set is of integers, okay? So if you love this language, just explain this crap. Let's run it again. Yes! The drone is moving. That's such a surprise, honestly. Now, the drone is always stuck at the beginning for a very long time. Why is that? Let's pause it. So we're calling solve. Oh, and then you're stuck there. So actually, every time the drone resets, I have to clear the visited set. So not only once it reaches 300, so clear it every time. Try again. Chest found, fertilized, and there we go. The chest is moving, the drone is quickly fertilizing it, returning back to its starting position, and going adventuring again. Now, am I missing something? Oh, finally. Because the walls only get removed sometimes, not always. So I hope we won't run out of fertilizer, but now it's gonna take 300 passes of this. We're at 35. I don't think I have enough patience to wait here for that to happen. But yeah, the maze is slowly disappearing. The drone just keeps searching. And we're on version 47 now. Long way to go to 300. Before that happens, you can probably see that this is not at all optimal, right? So the thing is, imagine if the drone is here, bottom left, the treasure is here, bottom right, but the drone still goes north and examines everything, even though we know the position of the treasure chest. So ideally, we would like to, think about the positioning as well as the path of the drone. My thought is to rearrange these if statements so the directions the drone is gonna be going first based on the position. So say drone here, treasure chest here, you know the X coordinate is higher than yours, so go right first. It only works roughly, but it's a start, you know. Now the maze is almost empty, and just so you know, we have 33,000 coins. So remember that, and then we'll see by how much we actually jump. Now you should be able to see the problem I described clearly. Oh wait, the drone got stuck. What? What? It just stopped with the execution. Oh wait, I must have messed up. That's cause it's above the treasure. So something went wrong, but that's weird because I would expect it's still not done. I would expect this to be infinite. Okay, so it got killed. What I'm gonna now quickly do is just harvest. Chest there, drone there, harvest. We have 33k. Holy shit, look at it! 164,000! That's incredible! And we saved so much time and fertilizer and resources and stuff. That's insane. I love it already. Anyway, at the end, probably couldn't see it because, you know, it stopped. But basically, we first moved north. So the drone went and was doing just these strips. Can't go south, so east. Then north, no, because there's a wall, so south. Basically these strips like that. So that's not really time efficient, right? First off, what I can't understand is that if you start, the set is empty, right? So you start with an empty set and you're here. Now what if the treasure chest is here? You don't return, because your position is not yet there. You are above the treasure, you don't yet harvest it. So you measure and fertilize it and return true. You don't add your position, you're here, so you increment, reinitialize and solve again. That's really weird. But anyway, what I think we should do now is also return these two coordinates and also be able to pass them along. So we know where the position of the chest currently is supposed to be. And that's how we prioritize these if statements. Oh, wait a second. I think I know, maybe. Because once we finish the function right here, we then repeat this. Make maze is called, and make maze is done while entity type is not a hedge. But still not sure why it, got stuck here. Because the program just ended. Anyway, let's not call make maze every time. Let's only call it if treasure version is 1. So what I need to do now is return not only treasure found, but also these two positions I measure right here. So the question is, we have tuples. Do we have triples? There we go, tuple. Combine multiple values. Can I have more numbers in a tuple to make it triple? So after a quick Google search, it seems that tuple doesn't have to be 2. It's basically a list. So that's cool. So everywhere I'm just gonna say return not only treasure found, but also position X, position Y. So now I want to just see whether this fails miserably or does it work? Well, the drone is stuck already for some reason. Does it not work then? I haven't even done anything. Why does it not work? Yeah, look, the drone is just going mental. I haven't done anything to you. Oh, shit. I hate this so much. Anyway, the function now returns 3 things, and it only stores them into a single variable. So treasure found is never true, never false, always what? Basically, this is no longer a boolean, but a tuple. And if we say and not tuple, then that's, I guess, always false. So this never executes. It's weird. Should work now, hopefully. Come on, come on. Yes! Yes, it's working again. Okay, kill that. And now, finally, we've got these two positions, and we can try and edit this. I don't want to do anything too smart, so I'm just gonna say, if get position X is lower than position X, which is where the treasure is, you want to go east first. So I know some of you are gonna hate me for this, but the headache is too severe now. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. I'm just gonna copy this 3 times, just Trust me, it's too much, okay? So just roughly. This is not great. This isn't solving the issue, just making it slightly better, making the code worse. You know, to be tackled next time, probably. Anyway, if the treasure is somewhere to the right, we go east first. Now, ideally, I would like to say, and what then? And sort these things out. If it's somewhere to the north, go north first. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter what you do. So this is awful. I hate it. Don't be too mad. But I hope it's gonna work, and now it's collapsed, so you can't even see it. Let's do this. Hopefully, in the long run, this is gonna be slightly faster. Because now the drone knows where the treasure chest is, and you could see it's going right. Every time it went right now. Yeah, see? Going right first. Wait. Oh, wait. I just realized it's gonna go right every time. Since we start here, the treasure chest is always gonna be to the right, unless it's in the first column. Oh well, I suppose that this really comes into play once the walls start disappearing. And now again, for some unknown reason, it has stopped with the treasure chest just under it. I'm not sure I understand this. What I'm gonna do is not clear this and try running the code and seeing what happens. Oh, here we go. If getEntityType is not a hedge, then we return, meaning we failed to create a maze. Because for the maze creation, we need fertilizer, and sometimes we can run out of pumpkins. We can't buy fertilizer for pumpkins anymore. We can't make a maze. So here I have to say, and getEntityType is not entities dot, what's it? Treasure? Treasure. There we go. So now it should work again. Yeah, and it does. Look at that. Now I stopped the drone above the treasure, just because our counter is all messed up, and I'm gonna harvest. Oh, I think I clicked this button. That's interesting. So I clicked this button to harvest, but didn't stop this code, so it just started to execute itself again. So now I have to... How do I kill it? Look, I click this button, and this starts executing. Yeah, did you see that? So now I have to forcefully stop the code, harvest the treasure chest, insane profits. So yeah, the code is shit, don't look at that. Just check this out, and this is also somewhat nice. I mean, look, it works, and I'm honestly really never ever touching this piece of code again. Just collapsed like that, and now we can simply enjoy. Oh, and one minor detail, this never works. So even if the treasure chest is in the first column, the drone still goes right. That's because here, as initialization, I put get world size, meaning always go right, basically, like the treasure chest is here, top right. But what I should have done instead is assign these two positions once the solve function finishes. And remember those. So final bug hopefully squashed, and it's working quite nicely. And now, treasure version 274, measuring the chest right here, and we've reached, you know, it's almost empty, the maze is almost empty, and we've reached a very interesting part. We are trying to measure a treasure. Oh, that's fun. But it's telling us the left-hand side of the assignment doesn't match the right-hand side. So clearly there's been a bug there, because I'm trying to measure the chest and it's not working. So I'd say I've pushed it really far. I'm quite pleased with that. The way I'm handling the locations of the chest, appalling. Now let's just harvest the chest. We're gonna go from 196k to 350 almost. Oh, that's insane. Love it. Anyway, I've overcomplicated this. So I think this should work better. Basically, if we want to go to the right, go east. If to the north, go north. If to the south, go south. Otherwise, west. Once either of these is done, do every direction. And I think it's okay to do the same direction twice, because worst case is we can't move that way anyway. So I hope you enjoyed and don't hate me too much.